What?
Chinese day.
Chinese day.
Day for make for good luck. House and car.
Put a cup for the car.
Yeah,
yes.
put in house and the car.
Oh, right. Okay. So we got to. Yes, it's Chinese New Year, and this is what we do in Chinese New Year. We get all this food ready. It's still to me it's still a mystery as to where all this food goes. It's a mystery to me. Anyway, I've got a few things I got to do today myself. I'm taking the bike out again today. There it is there.
Dress Chinese.
Dress Chinese.
And you see my mom.
Bad light. Get you in the light so I can see you in the light. I still got bad light there. Perfect.
Perfect, man.
It's still too early in the morning.
And you see mom, she make red baby.
Oh, she's all red. Okay.
She's
There
so cutie.
So cutie. So
Ah,
cutie. Very good. Very good. Okay. Yeah, this Chinese New Year. This is well. I thought it was day one. Day one was tomorrow because it's the new moon. That's not until tomorrow. But again, if they say it's today, it's good enough for me. It's good enough to be today. Okay. Open the gate. There we go. Okay. Kun ding dong. So yeah, anyway, like when I finally do get on the road, what I do want to talk about today is riding in Thailand. I get a lot of people sort of saying, are you screwy in the head for even trying to attempt it? And all the comments about, I would never do it. Let's really discuss it and talk about riding in Thailand. Because to me, I don't think there's really a problem. There's a few things you need to learn, and that's what we'll cover today. Okay, what we doing now?
You far.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And put like this.
Okay. Sato.
Okay, satu. Okay.
You just gotta like this.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Just put one.
Oh, you mean put on?
Yeah,
like
put
in?
on.
Stick
Yeah.
in like this. Okay. Stick in the fruit. Yeah. And where else?
In this one,
In
kanom.
this one here, in the kanom.
Yeah, in the kanom.
And in the pasta. No.
No, more
In
pork.
the
Not in the pasta.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Okay. And yes, we put little flower things on the vehicle as well. It's all for tradition and luck, and if you don't play the game, you're not really part of Thailand, are you? Yes, I'll pick this up when I get on the bike, I guess. I got to get dressed and all that sort of shit. Okay. I put on already. Yeah. Okay, so I guess it's time for that ride I was talking about. As I said, we're going to give you a bit of a heads up on the whole riding thing here. Riding as opposed to driving is a little bit different, as you imagine. Like, I'm not going to try to sort of preach to the idiots. Right? Riding and driving is different. Driving is you get in a car, turn it on you go. Riding, and you need safety gear, helmet gear, all the stuff. And if you're smart like me, you're going to need a ride camera as well. So make sure you've got that gear before you get on a bike, because you never know what's going to happen. Ideally, if you follow my instructions, nothing will happen, okay? But as I said, there are some crazy people out there on the roads, not just in Thailand, but everywhere around the world. Sometimes these cages just want to have a piece of you. That's it. Get your gloves on, and away we go. Right, so we are going to do our 90-day check-in today. Oh, thank you. So, let's just get out of here. So, yeah, where was I? Right, we are off to Nakhon Pathom integration. Now, there will be a full-length ride video for those Patreons and members if they want to go and check that out. The link will be in below as well for those people. It doesn't go public, it goes out to a different sort of audience. But aside from that, that's just technical details from YouTube. what we're doing is we're going to take the back way into Nakhon Pathom immigration. You might be wondering why I'm going to be doing a bike ride and why am I doing 90-day. Well, I always look for a reason to get on the bike and go and do something, because, you know, most of the time riding is just one of those sort of things that you need a destination, and quite frankly, you know, I'm a homebody. I don't have many destinations to do. Recently I've started doing trips into Bangkok, testing out the traffic situation and everything else, but that's once a week possibly I can do. But yeah, again, a nice bike ride, you know, that's good. What's 30 kilometres to immigration? Yeah, gotta watch out for the soy dogs. So it makes a good bike ride. Get out in the thing and it's a lovely 25 degrees Celsius. I'm actually experiencing some wind chill now, which is absolutely just magic, you know. We're about 35% humidity today. I think that's what I read this morning. It could be a bit higher, who knows. But it's just a perfect day for a bike ride. But anyway, like we really want to get into the ups and downs and the pros and cons of you know, what you should do as a bike rider here in Thailand. One of the things, of course, that comes up is, and I said before, is, well, let me just check that camera there. It's just actually quite a little bit off angle. Let me just stop for a second. Yeah, I've set up the second facing camera so that it gets a different sort of angle view rather than just a constant look forward. I did this a little while ago and it seemed to work quite well. It all depends on where you're sitting. I think it's fairly level. Okay. For those first timers here, I'm riding a Kawasaki Vulcan 650. I'll leave it at that. You can do your own research. The bike is now 6 years old, coming up to 7 years old. So it's been a little workhorse. It has only done, what is it, 7,500 kilometres. Because I really don't have anywhere to go. You know, when we go long distance, we're always going as a family or as a couple, and we take the car. We bought Chanya a nice CV650 back in the day because, you know, it's got the Thai colours on it and it's a 650 and it's a sexy bike, and that was one of those sort of things she always wanted, so I bought it for her. She rode it for about 6 months and realised that it was way too powerful for her. She's never ridden it again. It's still in the garage there. If you're looking for a nice low kilometre 650 CV650s 2016 model, yeah, Honda, yeah, we've got one for sale. We'd probably, you know, entertain 150,000 baht for it. It's at low kilometres and it's still registered and everything else, and quite roadworthy. So hit me up. But aside from that, yeah, riding in Thailand is just one of those sort of things. So there is really no problem riding in Thailand as long as you know how to ride. The biggest problem we have here in Thailand is there is zero education. You know, the riding test that they do when you get your riding test is actually a joke. You know, scooter around some riding hats. What? Well, again, this is Thailand. You know, you don't worry about it. This is what they do. But you've got to understand that, you know, 50% of people on the road here simply just do not know how to drive or ride. So they're going to run in a, like, he could come in front of me. Like, you know, you've got to be aware of your situation every time you ride. You can't just, you know, I'm actually running a risk right now by having a conversation to nobody in the camera simply because it distracts me from riding. Thankfully we're on a back road here, so there's not too much to worry about. I certainly don't really feel comfortable with it doing it in the middle of traffic with, you know, watching, you know, the 360-degree surround. Negatives of the bike riding, yeah, cages and other motorcycle riders, they have absolutely zero road rules, road sensibility, road etiquette, road anything. You've got to be aware of that. But that is predictable. Like this girl here, she didn't even look, you know. Well, you probably can't see it from the camera view, but I can see it. Don't forget, I'm long-sighted as well, so that is an advantage here in Thailand, being long-sighted, because it allows you to predict more. you know, I go quite often on the road with Chanya, and sort of, we're out and about. She said, oh, I need to go to the toilet, or you need to stop and get this, or I need to get that. Stop at Port Totoro. And I said, oh, there's one 300 metres ahead. She goes, how can you see that? I'm going, because I can see it, you know. They didn't want to train me as a sniper in the army when I was in the army, but we won't go into that either. I need glasses to read shit. That's the downside. Positives and negatives. Everything. Life is positives and negatives. Life is about just life is chaos. And how you wind your way through the chaos, that's really up to you guys. You could always embrace Eris, the goddess of chaos, discord and confusion, and the Greek pantheon. She's the only active divinity on the planet right now. You got to go with the flow, man. Now, you'll also notice when people here are riding in Thailand, you'll listen, like this guy here is doing 44 kilometers an hour. There's a good gap in front of him. Now, a typical Thai will just say, oh, look, I can get in front, and it'd be overtaking and risking their life and everything else. You've got to sit down and ask yourself the question, you know, if I'm going to go if I'm going to go 30 kilometers and it's going to take me, 40 minutes, that's doing, what the map says, if I don't have to pressure myself and everything else, going a little bit faster and overtaking everybody, I might get there 3 minutes faster in total. What's the point? This is what I fail to understand with anybody, not so much here in Thailand, but everywhere in the world. Like, I've done advanced driving courses, not like most people. I've raced rally cars and was it Formula? I can't. What was it? That's that really bottom Formula sports vehicle. I don't know. I can't remember. 50 years ago. But aside from that, we've done rally, we've done trail bike riding, all that sort of. We've done all this stuff in my past. You just know the fact that you can't avoid cross traffic, you can't avoid traffic lights, you can't avoid a number of things. There are all the things that impede your flow of traffic. So I'd rather arrive a few minutes late than dead on time. That's the way they say it. This is where Nakhon Pathom immigration used to be, but they're now only servicing the Myanmar, Myanmar workers, I suppose, or Myanmar, work visa sort of stuff that they do. They don't allow us foreigners this way. We've got to go all the way out west to where the new immigration office is. But as I said, it's a good ride. And this is another thing that always annoys me. We've got a freaking open road here. There's absolutely nothing ahead of us. You're sitting in the middle of the road doing, 38 kilometers an hour. It's good to have a bit of power under your belt. That's the DLT, by the way, for Nakhon Pathom. So it's nice and close as well. Wondering what the hell that noise was. There's fireworks going off. Jesus. All of a sudden his car just blew up. Okay, let's talk about lane splitting for a minute. Yeah, look, look, I could easily get down that lane there and split that lane and get at the head of the line. Again, what's the extra 30 seconds do me? Well, I'm not trying to get ahead of the traffic. I'm not trying to do anything in particular. I'm quite happy just to sit here and mosey along behind this. What are you going to do, Zuzu? Driving behind somebody, you've always got a shield in front of you, haven't you? I think we have to come and check out this area at some stage. It's all been made new again. I'm still amazed at how much building goes on here in Thailand. Well, maybe it's just my perception of time is changing. Oh, that's the truck that was holding us up, I'm guessing. Once we get over the bridge, we'll be clear and we won't be idling. And finally we get over the river. this is why you have a big bike. But always remember to slow down for these little rises in the road, because some of the dips can be quite bad. Yes, once you get over the Ta Chin River going west, the countryside is actually really quite nice. I like coming out here. It's one of the reasons why I like riding, because you know, you're on your steel horse, you know, you're part of everything. You know, you don't have a steel cage around you. You just feel free. You know, and this, of course, it's another feeling on top of the freedom we already experience here in Thailand. Just the freedom of riding a bike, you know, grabbing your gear on, you know, going for a ride. You really can't beat it. It's a natural thing, I'm sure, that all men and probably women too need to experience in their life to really get an idea of what it's like. Nothing can replace it. A person, maybe horse riding might replace it. I've done that too. Wasn't really interested in it. There was no accelerator. I think I'll go this way. When it comes to Thailand, you'll hear a lot of riders talk about the twisties up in the Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai area, the mountains. Yeah, like, yeah, if that's the sort of thing you're into, then all well and good. You know, me, I just like to sit in a relaxed position, you know, arms outstretched, legs outstretched, a nice rumble between your legs, you know. You don't have to go fast to enjoy it. And that's the biggest problem I've had with the riding groups here I've been with in Thailand. 90% of them just want to ride fast. I'm going, no thank you. Which of course, I suppose should add the fact that that's the reason why, one of the contributing factors here in why the road toll is quite high. One thing you'll notice when you're here in Thailand is the fact that there seems to be sort of roads that we would have considered 60km/h speed limits in Australia are quite often labelled as 80 km/h here. Given, you know, the cross traffic and the U-turns and everything else, I don't think anybody could actually really get to 80 km/h apart from at the middle of the night. But you get the idea. You know, there's already an indication you can go faster than what would be commonly accepted as being a safe speed. And of course, Thais, you know, they just do their thing. You know, Thais are Thais. You know, if this is 80, they'll do 100. Mind you, I can just say, it's just not Thailand. I'm pretty sure it happens everywhere in the world. The downside is with Thailand is the fact that they just have a lack of common sense and a lack of I don't want to diss anybody, right? It is just one of those things. It's a common sense approach. You do not have to go fast. You're on a bike, right? Think it's a horse with a motor, you know? Just take it easy. It's part of you. It's part of you. But there's actually more to see on these, in these little backwater towns, where the twisties through town. All the elderly people there on their motorcycle scooters and things like that without helmets. You'll never re-educate them, you know. They'll try. It'll never happen. And of course, there's not much deterrent with the whole helmet law, of course. Helmet law, I think it's 300 baht fine. Maybe 500 if you're a foreigner. Personally, I've never been pulled over. I don't even know what the fine is. I've got a webcam, I've got a helmet cam, and I've got another cam there now. I've got two angles. If I was to be pulled over by police, which has happened in the past, they see the cameras and they are above reproach. They really are. They just do the right thing. They don't want to be caught out. So when it comes to riding in Thailand, it really comes down to what I would think is a risk assessment. You have to look at all the conditions that you're currently going to encounter and add a few extra and make a judgment call. It's just like, it's just like, you know, investing in index funds and stock markets and Bitcoin. it's a certain level of risk you need to consider. Unlike stock markets and Bitcoin and everything else, or the potential failure of the economy, you are playing with your life. That's what you're risking, and so you've got to be a little bit more cautionary in what you do. Travelling 10 kilometres an hour faster is going to increase that potential risk. Overtaking a car increases that potential risk. Annoying drivers, or you annoying another driver, that is, that's a potential risk. Try to avoid these things. I'm actually not being hassled, threatened or anything. I've got a car, I can see in the mirror there, that's 50 yards behind. He's not threatening me. He's not looking like he's trying to tailgate me or anything, way, shape or form. When that happens, I'll just pull up the side, let him go through. Why hassle yourself? Why push yourself to go faster when it's just about just pulling over the side and let them go through? I don't know why people don't work that one out themselves. It's beyond me. It's your life. They're in a steel cage. Not much can happen to them, whereas gravel rash hurts quite a lot for quite some time. We've covered the pros and cons, so now it comes down to, well, what about you? And it comes down to what sort of bike. Well, it's about what sort of bike you're going to use here in Thailand. Well, it's going to come down to where you are and what you're going to be doing. I'm probably in that middle situation where I'm close enough to the city, but I'm further enough out of the city as well to make a decision on a larger bike. The whole idea was the potential to go and do some rides around Thailand, but of course, retirement took off, and the enthusiasm to ride alone doesn't really float my boat. And I've been looking at trying to sort of, ride together in groups, but again, with most people here in Thailand that ride still work, which means that riding during the weekdays, given this is a Tuesday, there's not many people around. I think the nearest rider I've got to me is Tim. Oh, ouch. And he's down in Chanya. That means to meet halfway, that's an hour and a half's ride for each of us just to meet somewhere, or maybe an hour and a quarter. And then we got a ride from there. Alternatively, he would ride here and then we'd go from here, or I'd ride down there and we'd go from there. Each is an inconvenience for the other party. Because again, the amount of time you're riding, there is a risk factor, and if you're riding for 2 hours versus riding for 4 hours, well, there is potentially a higher risk that you're on the road for. So you've got to think about that extra riding time. And the other thing is, of course, riding with groups, they want to leave from Bangkok at 9 AM on a Sunday. Okay, that's me. That's a 6 AM start for me. That somehow just didn't become enjoyable. Like I left today, was it 10:30 or 11 o'clock? I can't remember. I wasn't even look at the time. It doesn't matter. I'm retired. I don't have to look at the clock all the time. All I have to know is the fact that, well, it says here I'll get there at 11:42. So I need to probably put the foot down because I'm relaxing. I got 12 minutes, and they close at 12. Mind you, it's only a 5-minute exercise. If I don't get there before 12 at a reasonable time, they do go for lunch, and then I got to wait around for an hour in the sun. And just like that, you don't have a problem. You just watch what you're doing. Watch what cars are in front of you. What do they intend to do? Give them a wide berth. Where are you going to, really? Well, they finally got some concrete down. This wasn't here 3 months ago. Alright, now. Do we have motorcycle parking here? I can't remember. Don't think it really matters, does it? And finish. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Not much else to say about that. ride safe, as they say. A special thank you to our membership. Always great to have you guys. They get extra bits and pieces. But anyway, apart from that, I've got to turn my bike off and get in there, bring my passport in there. It only takes 5 minutes. And I enjoyed the ride. So there you go. Peace out. Stay tuned. Check a video. Check a playlist. We're good.